I don't want to be the guy who reports on every single piece of trade rumors that come out, but seeing as the Vancouver Canucks are one of the teams that have executed the lowest amount of trades out of all NHL teams in the past few years, anything like this is exciting. Take a look at this tweet right here from John Jekyll. I heard now that the Hawks are working on several trade scenarios. Pacioretty, who is the top priority, Skinner, Falk, and also talking to Vegas and Vancouver. Players are unnamed, but Lindbergh and Sam Gagner were mentioned last week. John Jekyll is a guy who primarily talks about the Hawks, focuses on the Hawks and everything, and apparently has connections. So the main idea here is the idea of Sam Gagner being traded to the Blackhawks. And this is very bare, it's very minimum, there's not that much to support this, but this is just a discussion point. Sam Gagner is a player that Vancouver Canucks fans have sort of wanted gone for a few weeks now, and a lot of people are thinking about, whoa, we just signed a whole bunch of free agents, we have so many forwards now, Sam Gagner, Brandon Sutter, these guys gotta go, and other people are like, yeah, but like Sutter has a lot of defensive awareness and he's a good guy to have in the PK, okay, but what about Sam Gagner? Gagner had his first season with the Vancouver Canucks, 74 games played, 31 points, 10 goals. Definitely not a bad season by a lot of people's standards, but at the same time, Sam Gagner was a player who came in and took a lot of ice time away from some of the younger guys. There were a few line matchups and everything that people were kind of like, what? Why is Gagner out there? And overall, Gagner at 28 years old definitely isn't a player who will get extraordinarily better as the years go on, but he totally isn't necessarily a player who's all that bad. I mean, it was just last season, in 16-17 with the Blue Jackets, that he posted up his career high of 50 points. Going over to Vancouver, signing his 3-year, just over $3.1 million salary, things weren't necessarily all too spectacular. And I think that's kind of obvious. Not that many people talk about guys like Gagner and Granlund and Gauntz when they talk about key guys on the Vancouver Canucks today. So the fact is, Vancouver might be willing to move Gagner to the Chicago Blackhawks. And there are a lot of Vancouver Canucks fans who would be on board with something like this. Because, oh, we can get a draft pick back, we can get a young guy back, we can free up a roster spot. Beagle, Roussel, Schaller, that's 3 extra forwards we added to a team that already had question marks like Gauntz and Leipzig and Goldolben and Boucher and all these players who we didn't really know if they really had a spot in the team anyway. So the fact that we're willing to move any of the forwards that we had last season that are above the age of 25, I'm all for it. The only question is, what could we get back from the Chicago Blackhawks? Well, literally anything. Literally. I'd be fine with like a 3rd or a 4th round pick. Or if we could squeeze one of their nice prospects out and grab ourselves any one of their young guys, that would be pretty good as well. Adam Boqvist comes to mind, just kidding. I'd be good with a Nicholas Bodin or a Henry Jokiharju, or even a Jake Wise. Nicholas Nordgren is also great as well. I don't want to say that Sam Gagner 1-for-1 would get any of these players, but in a world where we have so many forwards that are probably expendable, I'd be fine with acquiring any one of those guys. Chicago's got a lot of assets that the Vancouver Canucks could possibly desire, so going forward, if we were to make a trade with them, that would be great. Let me tell you this though, the Vancouver Canucks don't make trades very frequently, and when they do, they're usually lackluster unless they're Jonathan Dahlin and Alex Burrows and Goldolben and Yannick Hansen. They're not necessarily always the best trades available. So if we were able to trade a Sam Gagner over to the Blackhawks, even for just a 3rd round pick, I would be fine. But to be honest though, this is all just speculation. Sam Gagner is a guy who Vancouver Canucks fans don't think is all too spectacular, which is why I can talk about him in this kind of way. I wouldn't be able to talk about Baertschi or Horvat in this kind of light. Sam Gagner is a guy who's here for the short term, he's already kind of old, and he's a guy who doesn't necessarily produce the best numbers. So, I think it's all fair to say that having him traded to a Chicago Blackhawks team, or any team for that matter, for something as small as a little late pick would be fine. Hope you guys enjoyed this video of Plotting Desert Roll / Gaming, and bye.